Um, well, I'll give it a few seconds and see what people are saying. Yeah, I haven't updated Expert since the update. Although I heard it gave you a lot of problems at I-40.
The problems that iSeries is because Amazon Cloud went down. Amazon Cloud servers went down, and that's what XSplit used. So the actual servers for XSplit was down. There's nothing we could have done about that. We actually just literally couldn't stream.
Okay. Apparently it's good now. Got better areas in the stream. If you want to tell me anything, like if I forget to do Control N or something, you can add me at Vequeth.130. Apparently you're hacking something good.
I am?
Yeah,
Okay.
apologise for that.
Sorry, bro. Wasn't sure what I was doing.
Yeah, I just didn't know. Anyway, there's a lot of centuries for going. That is
Yep.
8 centuries. And nothing, well, 1 zealot.
Yeah, Bling has been working on this style quite a lot recently. I was talking to him. I actually interviewed him in iSeries, and he actually loves this kind of play. He loves his gateway units. He only likes getting Colossus and such really late game, when his opponent just does not have the kind of tech to deal with it. Like for example, in TVZ, he will get a lot of gateway units, probably to go High Templar first, and then switch to Colossus, just because his opponent will not have the corrupted numbers out in time to deal with him. But looks like Bling is actually going to move out with all of these sentries. Now this is a pretty interesting push, because there's so many sentries with... Wow, they actually just two-shot that Overlord there. That was pretty baller.
13 centuries, man. This is the kind of thing I haven't seen since like Beta, when centuries did 8 damage. And nothing could break the force field, and you just get mass centuries and like PvP and stuff. This is pretty interesting. And check out the supplies. Although I mean, Zerg did just make about supply worth stuff. And all the force field on so nothing is going to come. 3 roaches to have control, and the Queen. 2 Spinefall. Zerg went to the power research and managed to get under the force field. It just doesn't have any units. It's 1 roach, and now 0 Zerg left. So okay, roach spot. Putting down the time, but these roaches cannot get down tonight.
Yeah, I don't kind of want to slate Choco, but Bling did message me before the game and said he has been drinking before this game, so that could be just Bling having a little bit of a laugh there, and it looks like Bling is going to take the first game here, and yeah, I actually believe that might be it. Now Bling just typing up GG good night, because he's going to go back out.
Yeah, thanks for Bling for stopping off. It is a Saturday. He's obviously celebrating the royal wedding.
Yeah, obviously. Because everyone who's British would be interested in that.
Yeah. Although it was pretty funny how most of the comments I read on it were just Americans. It's like I saw it being discussed in Team Liquid and Reddit StarCraft. It's like, oh, you're all American. Why do you even care? But apparently they do.
Yeah, I don't even care, to be fair. Like, I'm actually against the whole idea of a royal family, so...
All the girls in my house were plastered down the TV, so...
Oh well.
Oh well. Anyway, congrats to Bling for that push. I think it seemed to be a bit earlier than what Coco was expecting.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, normally with that 3-gate sentry expand, you don't normally push with pure sentries at first, because of the fear that they could just get picked off, especially when you're moving off across a map like Shattered Temple, when it's so open in the middle. They're so easy to get flanks and such on them sentries, but he just found it so easy just to move across and just win with that push. Choco couldn't do anything about it.
Interesting. Apparently, you're too loud, which is weird, because normally I'm like way too loud.
Are you using that Skype interaction thing on XSplit, or
Skype interaction?
there's a new feature with XSplit? I haven't used it, so I don't know. That's why I was asking.
We can't fiddle with that now without taking the stream down.
Mm-hmm. Oh well.
I'll turn you down some.
Okay. I can also turn my mic down if anyone needs to.
Well, no, it's you and StarCraft are too loud, apparently. So, hopefully that'll be better. Say something.
Yo, howdy. Howdy doody.
What is your profession?
I do not have a profession.
Apparently it sounds good.
Okay.
Which is good. I'm a little silent. I didn't think silent was something that could be a little of. I mean, you're silent or you're not.
That's a good point. Can you be a lot silent? He's very much silent.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Very much silent?
Do you know me? Yeah, it's just like a posh way of saying he is silent. This is
Razor Blader.
Razor Blader. You might, at home, you might be thinking, God, that's a really dumb name, but he is 15, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on this one.
Yeah, even then he can't spell Razor correctly.
Okay. Here we go.
It's like he's on countdown and just ran out of consonants.
It's
just like, let's make something.
Oh, Razor Blader and Bling are on the same team. Or maybe...
That is Imber, if so.
I can't imagine it is.
That would be
He didn't say what teams
imbalanced.
these were, so we're going to have to say Avidity is from the University of Oxford and Razor Blader is from the University of Cambridge, and this is the age-old tradition of playing each other in StarCraft, which has been continued for the last 200 years.
And no one can actually argue the fact against us because we're the ones with the mics.
Exactly. Can't hear you, sorry.
Anyway, we do have Avidity. He is going to be the red Protoss in the top right hand corner here on Xel'Naga Caverns, and his opponent is going to be Razor Blader, who have just announced that he will be playing a show match versus Gomas on the 10th of May. I believe it's the 10th, which is a Tuesday, and I have no idea what for, but apparently they wanted a show match, which we cast live. So yeah, Razor Blader, obviously 15 years old, looking for a team at the moment, but the fact is, being only 15, it's kind of put off a lot of potential teams, actually. So it's going to be up to him to basically show that he's got pretty much the skills and the mannerism to be to put himself in the shop window somewhat.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, people just don't really know whether he could just drop everything and go to uni, especially under pressure from your parents and stuff. They don't want to see you playing StarCraft. They think they just dismiss you. They're like, yeah, just go to uni. Although with uni costs as they are going to be when this poor guy has to go to uni, maybe he's better off joining a team.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Cameron, because there was a $9,000 or something a year on tuition fees. If that's not enough to put in.
And Brighton's, I was at Brighton before I was at Plymouth.
Yeah,
and I would never pay $9,000 for what I got. Not at all.
No. Oh, well, I pay $3,000 a year right now, and I'm actually struggling to justify that, to be fair. So $9,000 is just like a no-go, to be fair.
Yeah.
But politics aside, we're gonna have a quick look at the build orders right now, and we do have pretty standard. Oh, actually, by Razor Blader, he does get that gas down, so could be doing absolutely anything from now to like to the end of the game. It's completely natural so far, and the same for Avidity as well. 1 gas so far, and getting a cybernetics course, so nothing out of the ordinary.
The part where we're going to see Razor Blader first deviate is if this is a reactor, then we could be seeing some very one-based tech, but it isn't, it's the tech lab.
Tech lab.
So we're probably going to be seeing a small concussive push into expansion from Razor Blader. That's what I'd be expecting. Avidity, it's too early to tell, really. He's getting the Zealot, which means he should be okay against the conk push.
Yeah, the concussive, he is getting a Reaper from this barrack, so that is not going to be good news for that Zealot. But he is getting the Stalker right now, and So that would be good news. But he will probably just be using that Reaper just to do a little bit of scouting, I guess, just to try and take these Zelnaga towers, perhaps jump up into the main of it, they get a quite in a kind of a quick scout and try and get back out again. That can, because if you think about it, one Reaper is so much cheaper than a scan. Like, I mean, so much cheaper than a mule. You can, sack that Reaper, see what your opponent's doing, and then just drop a mule instead of a scan. So that could be a viable option for Razorblade, and he is throwing down a command center as well.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting the sort of Reaper expand build that we're seeing, because it is how much? Do you remember how much gas it is for a Reaper?
I believe it is, yeah.
Which
50,
means
50 in it.
that he knows that Protoss knows Stim is going to be really late now, especially if he sees concussive shells, which means Terran expand is going to actually be pretty vulnerable to any sort of early aggression that we see from a Protoss player.
Yeah, and Avidity is getting that robotics facility as well, so if he was to do that kind of, that 2-gate or even 3-gate robo push with Immortals that a lot of Protoss has been doing, especially on ladder, then Razorblade could be in a lot of trouble. He does get this bunker out in time, and this Zealot could actually be picked off if he decided to use a little bit of micro with these units, but actually just leaves him in the bunker as well. Could have actually picked off that Zealot quite easily, but he does have a Reaper in the main of Avidity, and there's nothing here to defend against it, so he could get quite a lot of probe kills. And probes are dragged off the line to deal with this. There goes one probe. Is he going to get more? Some stalkers are being... Well, one stalker being warped in, so that Reaper is going to have to quickly make it out of there. But he did get a full scout out, and he did see the robotics facility and the second gas, so kind of knows exactly what's going to go, what's going on in, well, the mind of the Protoss.
Yeah, to be honest though, that second gas was way too late for any sort of... Well, I hesitate to say any sort of 3-gate or robo all-in to try and shut down this command center. But... we just haven't seen the secondary here. If the Nexus goes down, it'll be pretty late. Razorblade is about to float this command center over, which we just finished turning into an orbital command. And I'm confused as to what Avidity's going to do. Oh, here we go.
Expansion.
Expansion. So he's a little bit behind, but I think he's still... It's not anything serious.
No, I think he wanted the safety of that Immortal out, especially how he saw when he saw that Reaper. I mean that, like I said, that concussive Marauder push is super effective and very common, especially on ladder. So getting that Immortal out early on would make Avidity feel super safe from any kind of Marauder pressure early on. So he's just going to kind of sit back and expand behind it, which, I mean, a lot of people will say, well, you're behind in terms of that you didn't get your expansion down quick enough, but nothing beats the feeling of being safe, if you know what I mean. If you know you're not going to die anytime soon, that's going to give him so much confidence, especially playing against such a player like Razorblade.
Yeah, now this is the thing as well. They're both being very cautious because Razor doesn't know that Protoss expanded, although he is about to find that out. And when Protoss gets his observer over the expansion of the Terran, he's going to know that he's in pretty safe orbit, and he's going to be able to try and boost probes for a while to catch up. Just the feeling that you're really safe can pretty drastically alter what you're producing with the Chrono-Beast, although his observer is just seems to be sitting in a main. I'm not too sure about that, to be honest.
Yeah, quite strange that he would do
he's got
that.
Two. I'm sorry, he had one with his army. He's just a bit scared of Banshees because he hasn't seen the expansion yet, but he is about to see that now.
Yeah, getting 2 observers out is definitely a play that I really like. I mean, you can keep one... I mean, all top Protoss are doing it these days. I mean, you keep one in your base just in case of them Banshee pushes, as well as you just have one in your opponent's base because you want to see exactly what he's doing, what tech switches and such. It looks like the robotics base has just gone down, so if it looks like he wants to take the Colossus off to a base. This is a very common play from Protosses, and I'm not too surprised to see this because, I mean, if you go unchecked and you have a nice amount of Colossus, then it's, absolutely insane for a Terran to try and break that with nothing but bio.
Yeah, and he has seen, he was in the main, he saw how late the factory was. Now this was a 4 ranks after expand, and he's finally put the factory down. The factory's going to finish at like
late.
12 minutes, so the Viking count is going to be low for a lot of the time, and this is why I really like the Colossus play, or decision. And we have a little pressure push from Razorblade going on here. Avidity is going to be making some units, but the question is, can he get some good force fields down? And can he take out a chunk of this army to relieve the pressure? He does have to be careful though, because of Stim.
needs to chrono boost this Immortal out before this push comes, but looks like a lot of Marauders are actually, well, they actually look like they're going to be splitting up. Does take out an Observer in the middle of the map, and he is going to get that second Immortal out. Now this is going to make it super hard for this push to be effective. He has a nice amount of sentries, so force fields will be super effective. Looks like there's not going to be a push anytime soon by Razorblade. Looks like he wants to take out these destructible rocks in the middle of the map as he is building building his second Expo, which is his third command center in total. And we just have weapons level 1 upgrade now being researched for the Terran player as well.
Yeah, now the question is how long term of a plan Protoss has. He could, what I'd advise really is just staying on 2 base and making like a 2 or 3 Colossus time push on his natural. Preferably like when the planetary fortress gets there and wants to land, but while it's making.
Yep.
Otherwise he's going to have to look at taking a third sometime soon. Now this Observer, it doesn't look like it's going to see any expanding going on. He just seems to be checking Terran aggression, which means he could be seeing this third player a little bit late for what he'd like.
Yeah, I would like him to be a little bit more like aggressive with these observers. He's kind of just very passive in the middle. I know you don't want to lose him, but in honesty, I mean, I know they're not that expensive. I know they do take up obviously production time in your robotics facility that you want using on your Colossus and such, but kind of just chilling in the middle here. I mean, he's not saying anything new, if you know what I mean. He wants to be saying timings of tech switches, things like Viking counts and such. At the moment, his observers are just kind of chilling next to these Marauders. I mean, he's already seen them before. Needs to be a little bit more active. And it looks like Avidity is going to actually move out. No, not too sure about this push because there are a few Vikings with more on the way. So this is going to be pretty hard for Avidity to do any damage. And there's the Stin.
Guardian Shield goes up. Great Force Field going down, keeping the stuff away from the Colossus, but they are getting some. Mortars are getting some good hits because the range is not finished. The range is really close from being finished, and Protoss just falls apart. Too much damage. And he only won, so he didn't have the DPS to handle this Sting armor. And Protoss is in a terrible position now.
Yeah, I just didn't feel he had one Colossus and moved out. That is just not enough Colossus. You should have about two of, well, especially two, at least 3 or 4 is the ideal number before actually pushing out across the map like that, especially when Razorblade has so many units, especially with the stim and the weapons upgrade. And looks like he's just going to move in for the kill here as well with the final stim.
Yeah, cleared up by Avidity though. Razorblade he got the earlier coming up. He seemed to just have a much better grasp of what his opponent was doing and what he could get away with. Protoss just seemed to be on back foot, I felt.
Yeah, pretty much, and Razorblade did take that game quite easily actually. I mean, he went unchecked the entire game, was not put under pressure at all, and then his opponent moved into him, and then he just kind of took him out with with just more units.
Yeah, but congrats to Razorblade for that win. It was a very solid win. I think he could be pretty happy with himself on that. He didn't really put a foot wrong at all. When he did do the push, he made a correct scan and he saw that Protoss had been spending a lot of money on units and wasn't too greedily going into Colossus, which is what that push is kind of designed to punish. And he rightfully pulled back, and it saved him the game. How's the sound, by the way, guys? Can I overlay the uni names? I can.
I've got a score screen thing if you need it.
No, I got one.
Okay.
The names are just so long, and he didn't tell me the names in the last game. It was just Razorblade versus Protoss.
Versus Protoss, yeah.
But I mean, on the other hand, you know, Protoss, I don't think he did too bad. I don't think he reacted that well to losing the Observer. I think it threw him off a bit.
Yep. He lost that Observer in the middle. I mean, he just kind of, I think he underestimated the army size. Like I said, he just kind of had that one Observer just chilling in the middle, wasn't really pushing around, having a look. didn't see all that much of the army and then just kind of underestimated and kind of walked into a death trap, and that's pretty much the opposite of how you want to play it as a Protoss, never mind any race. You want to keep your units alive for as long as you can, because the longer the game goes on, the more effective, especially things like sentries and Colossus become.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, his positioning was a bit off. If his observer had gone down and seen the planetary there, I think he would have been much better to go around from the other side, because then you have a much easier time to force field stuff in half, and then that gives him the position. Like, even if you're not winning the fight, despite like more of his units being unable to shoot, you still have the option to back off if it doesn't look good. But I mean, he had, how many immortals? He had 2 immortals, and then...
Yeah, 2. The funny thing is, as well, he actually did have time to pull back, because he put his force fields down, but still engaged it. He should have saw then, well, wow, okay, my opponent has way too many units, I'll throw down these force fields, and I'm going to retreat back up to my base, warp in another round of units, and then be safe. At least I'm not going to die. But he kind of just said, screw it, I want to kill him now. And 1 Colossus is not enough to take out that many units. I don't care how imbalanced the Protoss is.
Did you say Protoss were imbalanced while I was typing?
I did indeed.
Oh, God.
Well, I said the Colossus is imbalanced. That and the fact that 1 sentry can win you the game effectively if a force field's put in the right position, which is pretty broken.
As opposed to like 1 planetary fortress that doesn't die ever.
Well, no. Well, if you think about it this way, is if you drop the main of a Terran and they have an expansion up, and 1 sentry just force fields a ramp, lol. That's like insta win.
Mhm. Did you see the Debro interview recently?
I did not know. Was that on TL?
Yeah, when he's like, units don't specifically counter each other, and his example for this was, the question was something about unit counters. An example was, take the example of the Zergling against the High Templar. The Zergling always wins, but that is not an accurate representation of High Templar. It's like, what?
I wouldn't say the Zergling always wins. Goddamn storms are pretty lethal.
I think you'd have to have pretty clutch mouse accuracy to get a storm that kills the Zergling and not yourself. Oh, it doesn't like long names.
Then again, I'm not a big fan of like the whole idea of this unit counters this unit. I don't like that whole thought process. To be fair, I don't like that at all. Because if you get enough of one stuff, you can kill anything.
Yeah, it only likes 1 name, but start. But it's fine. It's Belfast versus Durham. I nearly went to Durham actually. They didn't take me. Sad.
Oh, nasty.
Sad. But I nearly got stuck doing computer science at Durham, and I'm pretty glad I didn't do it anymore. Because then I don't know.
Durham's such a nice place. I live just down the road. I go there quite often. It is super legit.
You're pretty far away from me then.
Yeah, Plymouth, like the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Like,
God, he goes to Plymouth. God. I'm not far away from Bling though. He's in.
Yeah, it's from Congo.
No, he's like, Plymouth is bottom left, but he's further bottom left than Plymouth.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty far away, that dude. Super cool guy, though. Super cool guy.
The thing about Bling, we were talking about Bling earlier, but I thought I'd talk a little bit more about him, is he has a great work ethic. Like, if you looked at him a reasonable time ago, he was okay, he was high masters, but as soon as Team Dignitas launched this gamer search thing, I know he trained really hard for that, and I'm really glad for him that it paid off for him, because he just has a strong work ethic. Not much more to say about that.
Yep, he's a top player at the moment. Actually, he trains a lot. I mean, I see he's been training with players like Naniwa and Zhou like daily. and I mean that's only gonna.
Yeah, and in my opinion, Naniwa's PVT is at least the best outside of Korea, maybe the best in the world. It's just incredible. So if there's anyone you want as a mentor, it would be him.
Yeah, he's pretty sick at the moment. Be interesting to see how. Sorry?
Is he ill?
I don't know. Like he's super he's in form at the moment, but like he's still he won MLG, and I mean, how far did he get in the? He went to wasn't the Gathering, it was the Copenhagen Games.
Yeah.
I believe.
No, Naniwa.
Yeah, did he go to that?
No, he was ill.
No, right, okay. So like
he went to MLG and won that, obviously.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. Like he's in super good form at the moment, but it's like such a shame that people get ill, like when you're in such a role, because like some players just. I mean, like the Muslim before he broke his arm was absolutely on fire. And then he kind of missed out of the NASL because of his broken arm.
No, he missed out of NASL because NASL were douchebags and didn't ask him whether he could play or not.
Well, apparently they took the whole video and said that he was wearing a cast outside of a hospital. That's why they didn't pick him.
He made the video.
Yeah, and
he obviously thought he could play. Anyway, yeah, the Muslim broke his hand. That was a shame. But if anyone wants to see him play, I believe he's playing Monday nights on ESL TV. But you'd have to, like, if you go to his Facebook page, which if you just Google search Facebook into Muslim, that's DE Muslim. It's because, if you want to know about the name, it's because he idolizes like the Muslim boxer heroes that kind of came about earlier this century. Anyway, if you check out his Facebook, he tells you when he's going online, because there's not many places.
Is there any VODs or anything like that? Because I actually missed that.
There are some VODs.
I sent a message to Rotterdam, but he didn't reply. God damn it.
I think they're also on his Facebook. Okay, so we've got Night. Which are you? Oh. Night is Belfast. He's Terran. And he is blue. Oh, they keep changing it. God, stop changing. Okay, and purple. Cool. Right, are you good? Oh wait, you're not in. Join on me.
I tried to join and it kept saying no. This game is currently full and no longer available.
Oh. Oh, it's because it's MLG. I'm gonna... Once they stop changing colours... Joey go...
Do I need to do a restart?
No. It's MLG Metal Opposite only has 2 ob slots. Because they had to alter the map, you know, so you can't spawn. Okay, join me now. But yeah, for the people at home, MLG maps means you can't spawn close positions. There's MLG Shattered Temple, MLG Metalopolis. You can only spawn close by air or cross positions.
Which makes me sad because Turex is super effective on close positions against Zerg.
I'm quite glad that you turns on close positions versus me on Metalopolis. It's like, yay, Metalopolis, and then your close position, and then Terran just does some ridiculous Banshee Raven tank one base all in. They're just, who needs to expand when you can just pull all your SCVs when you mine out?
It's a super good point. I should really do more of them pushes myself. It's super effective. I've seen a lot of tank Banshee player, and
just don't expect me to talk to you much after you start doing it.
Yeah, I should actually do more of them. They're so good. But we do have Knight, who is the yellow Terran. He's going to be in the left-hand side, the western location on Metalopolis. He's going to be facing against the purple Zerg of Kari B. I want to say Kari B. That may be, or Karib. Karib? I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce that.
Keep talking, I'm fiddling with something.
That's fine, that's fine. But Karib, or Karibi, he's going to be in the bottom, in the 6 o'clock location, and his Overlord is going to fly off to the top left where the yellow Terran Knight is going to be localized. So this Overlord is going to scout him straight away, and, well, nothing too crazy is going to happen early on because, of course, this is the MLG Metalopolis. You cannot spawn close locations, so things like 2-Rax pushes are automatically then kind of reduced in effectiveness because, I mean, you can't get to your opponent's base as quick and it is not easy to scout where your opponent is. So you're gonna have to, well, we're gonna have to see Knight kind of go for some sort of gas player, definitely. I mean, there's no way you can not go gas against Zerg in these locations, especially things like drops and Banshees, so super effective in close air. And this Overlord does see where Knight is and pulled away right before Knight got a spot where the Overlord was. Nice little, just little things like that, you know, kind of makes the difference.
Yeah, although it doesn't seem to make much difference because Knight is sending his scout straight down already. Just checking.
Yeah.
I can't imagine we're going to see any sort of 2-Rax here, unless it was someone like Select playing who has the micro to kind of pull it off.
No gas though.
Didn't yeah.
Oh wow, it is 2-Rax.
Never mind. Ignore me. I'm just gonna, you know. Oh.
Well, you were kind of right though.
Match.
This is super late. Like 15 Rax. That's normally 2 supply late on what is normally. So this 2-Rax by Knight is going to be super late.
I think he just wants to make it look like a pretty standard build. You know, like a fast expand.
Yeah, that's the only thing that the Zerg will think it is though, is a fast expand, because there's no gas and there's nothing else in the base to suggest so. So, I mean, sooner or later he's gonna expect that there is some sort of proxy racks on the field, and this is kind of good location for this barracks. But if he, well, normally overlords do fly over that way, but he's actually sending his overlords the other direction. So let's just see how much pressure he decides to put on. I mean, I've got a feeling that Kari will be able to hold this off though.
It's interesting actually. Zerg is going for 2. Oh no, he's stealing a gas. My bad. He's just going for the 1 gas. So he is still going to get speed. It's not going to be like the Spanish or style, which is just really mineral heavy, and then you go 4 gas to get lower in speed and that jazz. Yeah, he does a good job of cancelling this. I think this might have just saved him the game. He cancels the gas deal, goes to see it, and he sees the Marines aren't there, so he's got to be expecting something, and he goes back to his base and sees the bunker, puts down a spine, and is going to be harassing with these Zerglings.
Yeah, I feel he might have been making a mistake with these Zerglings. Kind of needed to take out the SCVs, especially the SCV making the bunker. And he is pulling drones to deal with this. And I think that, oh my god, this bunker is going to go up. And this is going to be huge for Knight, because this bunker is up. And now Kari B is in so much trouble, because even though the spine crawler is up now, actually that spine crawler might be able to take out this bunker by itself. But he does have an SCV repair in it. But the DPS of the spine crawler is actually ridiculous.
The problem is that the spine crawler is in range of the bunker, so that you can just sit in the bunker and plug away that spine crawler. Okay, he finally moves out, because spine crawlers have slightly more range than Marines in a bunker. But now the problem is the hatchery is being damaged. So he's going to be able to do some damage on this. Now, this is the interesting part, is that Knight is not bringing any more SCVs. So
oh my god, he's going to lose his queen. Oh, he lost his queen for absolutely no reason there, and he's throwing all of his lings at this. I'm not too sure if
he's going to kill the SCV, and that was the only SCV, so there's no more repairing on the bunker, and this rush is going to be shut down.
Yeah, but he just lost a ton there. Lost a queen for absolutely no reason as well. Had to make 2 spine crawlers as well as a ton of Zerglings. Only now starting to drone up again. If I have a quick look at the income tab, well, there is actually even an income, but there's just so many Marines still in the mineral line. More drones are going to go down. And Knight doing a pretty good job of keeping that going. Now he's going to have to go home after he takes out this Overlord. And wow, Kari being a little bit sloppy with his placement of his units here. Losing a lot of things unnecessarily.
Yeah, I can't help but feel that Zerg could have handled that a lot better. You know, I said he shut the rush down, and he did kill the bunker, and he also, I mean, he lost the queen, and when he absolutely had no reason to lose that queen. But that Overlord positioning, and he stopped making drones way too early. So he didn't clean it up, and he had to pull drones, and he lost like another 3 drones, which means at the moment they are exactly even on harvesters, and Knight is taking his second. Now with mules, you know, you might say, oh, you know, they're same on harvesters, it's fine, but mules are soon going to tilt this battle, in Terran's favour immensely. And he's floating a barrack scout, as you do.
Yeah, I actually love this player so much because he did take out the queen, and that was already in a proxy location anyway, so before he decides to bring it home, why not get a free scout off of your opponent's base? And then you can definitely use that energy on a mule like you were talking about. Brilliant player by Knight. I actually love this idea of floating this barracks hole because he did take out a queen, so he realised that the anti-air is not going to be optimal for his opponent. He just kind of needs to float that home now because it is starting to lose a little bit of health. And in the base of Knight, we do have 2 bunkers have gone down, so he's going to be super safe anytime for any push anytime soon. We're also making 2 factories as well, so that is a clear indicator of what he wants to go. It's actually not building any more. Actually, there we go. Just about to say not building any more barracks, but boom, 2 more barracks do go down. So it is going to be pretty much, I think, a traditional marine tank build that we're going to see here.
Yeah, marine tank is pretty safe. He just wants to be, I'd say, safe against banelings, like a baneling retaliation here.
Yeah,
because I can't see mutas coming out anytime soon that would pose a problem for the Terran player.
No, I think you're right there. He has got that baneling nest up, so it is going to be mainly baneling, so he's going to go. I mean, things like baneling drops on this is so effective. Because of course the close location, and if we see all the units of Knight is actually at the bottom of his ramp, does not have any missile turrets or such up, so things like baneling drops would be ultra effective. But it looks like Karibe is just going to actually just head across the map right now. We do have 1 heli now, and he is going to actually miss all them Zerglings that have gone across. He's going to use 1 Zerg just to have a quick scout and see what's going on, and at the same time we do have 17 banelings being morphed in. Oh lord, that's a lot of banelings.
Is Hellion going to see it? He comes up.
Nope.
He's going to see some Zerglings, but he just wants to get back into the base. And I think Terran could be in a bit of trouble here. It depends. The Banelings are probably going to go straight for the bunkers. Zerglings are going to have a good job against the Hellions, and there's no tanks out yet. He's just going for the Hellions.
Oh,
this
God.
is looking pretty bad for the Terran.
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely lethal. Takes out 1 bunker, takes out all the units, goes for the 2nd bunker, other one goes down. Few banelings still left. He's going to go for all the SCVs. Oh my god, all these SCVs are just going to go down. Boom, there they go. And actually he's kind of done a pretty good job of holding this, to be fair. He's lost a lot of units, but here comes the 2nd wave. And can he hold this? I think he will just be able to.
Yeah, Terran's going to... This is the difference though. The bunker's still up, and you can get rid of it and get back into business again. It might have seemed like a loss to those banelings, but
oh my
there's
god.
only 6 harvesters behind.
Yep, and here just comes, I think, Karibe is just going to go in caveman mode and just throw literally everything he can see at even the kitchen sink at Knight here. He just wants to throw all of his Zerglings. I just think that the timing has gone. He's going to try and go in there, but Knight very smartly decides to wall off that little gap, and them Zerglings are not going to be as effective.
Yeah, Zerg has to be thinking, you know, what can I do here? What can I transition into? He's going for a lair is natural, which I haven't seen for a while. Like normally you go lair at your natural just to give it more health, like if you're expecting a Thor drop or something. But he can do whatever he wants, guys. And medevac going down, so I imagine we're going to see some of these Hellions being dropped in the main as some harass. The question is whether Terran is just going to go for the 2-base push or maybe try and get a 3rd. I'd imagine he's going to stay on 2-base for a while. I think he's a bit scared of the aggression that Zerg's thrown.
As a Terran on this map, especially against Zerg, it is so hard to grab your 3rd on this map. It's just absolutely impossible because the space between your 3rd and your natural is so big. Things like mutas and especially speedlings just harass that and just abuse that so badly. It is super tough to be able to hold your 3rd, and so I think Knight's best option is to, you know, continuous harassment with medvacs. As well as just saving up for, like you said, this kind of 2-base push. He is getting a lot of Hellions. Is not getting any tanks right now, but he is making a second factory, second tech lab, and is getting his first tank right now. So perhaps we will see a little transition.
There's a little drop that's trying to happen here for Terran.
Oh my god!
It was pretty well denied. Oh, there's blue flames. I kind of missed that going on, but the Spinecrawler and Queen are in great position, and these Hellions are not going to be able to do a thing. And these
medvacs can go down.
So very good defense there by Zerg. You know, strong stuff like that, I think he could stay in this game. Although he's going roaches, I'm not really quite sure where this is going. Like roach lane, he's going very upgrade heavy, which is good for him because Terran has just started his infantry upgrades. But siege tech against roaches is very brutal. So He knows that Terran has the factories up. Like, he saw the blue flame, and he's just going to spire now, which is a tech switch I much like a lot more. Going for those Mutalisks against the more immobile Terran army.
Yeah, and like you said, and looks like Knight is going to be pushing out. There are a few roaches out of position here. What is Curry B units doing over here? They are well out of position. They're going to be lost for absolutely nothing. I think there must be a missed rally point or something, because we do have Overlords heading that way as well. So I'm not too sure why them roaches are kind of sat there. He does have a couple of tanks out, and he does have the siege mode. It's complete. This barracks is just kind of floating in between no man's land. Could have actually landed that and used it for unit production, because he does have a lot of minerals, 1,000 minerals for the Terran. Could have used that barracks to kind of help reduce that amount. And Karibe's macro is, well, it's so much better than the Terran's right now. I mean, his food supply is 133 to 110. Is a little bit supply. Was just supply blocked, is out of it now, but here we have Knight is pushing across, and the Zerg does spot that with the Overlord. So how is he going to react?
He's moving his units for it's mostly Zerglings, mostly Roaches, a couple of Banelings in it. It's a great surround, and these tanks are very vulnerable, so Roaches aren't going to take out the tanks. A couple of Banelings coming in, sniping a good amount of range. Zerg, I mean, Tony is going to win this battle, I think, but actually no, I mean, there's just so many Roaches here left over, but Tony's going to have to pull back. Check out the supply difference now. Zerg is very, very much ahead. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing about having that extra hatch, like a third down, much longer than the Terran. You can just use it to pump out so many units. I mean, pumping out like 7 lava at once is pretty ridiculous. But it looks like he's going to try and get this around now. But I think there's just too many Terran units to be able to hold this off. So
yeah, but he's going for the tanks, which is absolutely crucial. Terran needs the tank count to be able to make any sort of push against Baneling. So I'm very impressed with the Zerg's movement here. And this command center wants to land, but a tiny, tiny little Zergling is...
Oh, that is so annoying. That is the most annoying thing as a Terran player, to have like a burrowed Zergling or something just sit in the way of your expansion, especially a third on this map. Is you want to get that down for as long as you can, because now the Zerg knows exactly the timings of this expansion, and he is also getting muteless as well, so it's a very nice timing. He can abuse the fact that it is out there by itself. There's no missile turrets or marines in position there to defend it against such harass. And we do have a lot of roaches making their way over there as well, so it looks like they want to close it down before it turns into a planetary.
Yeah, he got good scouting, that's why you leave the Zergling there. You want to know this very key timing, and you want to be able to get there before it turns into planetary, because if this was a planetary, the Zerg would be in a lot of trouble, but he's there right now, and Terran cannot deal with this. He's pulling his stuff to play now, but Roaches just
oh my god, he gets it. But he's going to lose so many units.
Yeah,
I think he should just engage this.
I'm not sure. I like the idea. He's leaving some
split up off of them
to save many.
Yeah.
That was really well done. And 2 Mutalisks flying here in the.
Oh my god! There's definitely a missed rally point.
2 Mutalisks, full stop. Really. that was their life, poor guys.
And the 4th for Kari as well. Love this player. Just took out the 3rd of his opponent. Decided to expand himself. Absolute crucial player there. It's pretty textbook StarCraft, but that's exactly what you need to do. And he's playing it so smartly right now.
Yeah. Now this is the key point. Is if you look at the Terran's main, he is mined out in his main. He is distance mining from the 3rd because he is nearly mined out in his mineral field. This is what happens when you put mules on the same mineral patch. All of a sudden you just run out. And Terran is in a lot of trouble. The onus is on him. This push has to do damage, but this Zerg, although the supplies are even, it's not that bad. He can do damage if he wants, but here comes the flank.
Well, here comes the Banelings, and oh my god, he gets a very nice round. Boom! Most of the tanks go up, a lovely spread on the Marines, but that might not be enough because there's just too many mutas with roaches, and it's going to be super, super close. Is he going to be? Oh wow! I think the Terran's got this. No, here comes the Lynx.
Yeah, he's going to be able to clean up the ground force, or maybe, I mean, there's a lot of medevacs here, there's a lot of healing to do. Yeah, Zerg is going to be able to clean this up, and Mutas should take out these medevacs, and Terran is in a very tough spot. And very commendable for the Zerg to just sit back and not make any mistakes, and just apply pressure. When we saw him take out the natural, attack the natural, he was quite behind. But it seems to have brought his way back into this game very well.
Yeah, and we did have a few Zerglings were trying to take out that third again by for Knight, but looks like they did get close shut down. These SCVs kind of just chilling in the main of Knight as well. I should really send them over to the third. We do have another attack by the Zerg on the third. It looks like we do have a bunch of Zerglings and a bunch of mutas there. No turrets here, and a lot of mainodding SCVs could go down. He is actually just targeting that command center, which is going to go down so quickly, and that could well just be GG right there, because I do not think that the Terran has enough to be able to fight the Zerg head on in any battle anytime soon. And even one Baneling morphing in for the hell of it, and that's it's going to be taken out. And the Zerg, well, just taking such a commanding position right now, and I feel that is only, well, it's his game to lose, pretty much.
Yeah, Zerg is showing very, very good play today. Very fast reflexes, and he got, like, if you see any S-string Zerg players in the audience, the way he moved his Zerg army around the command center before he attacked it, and that meant that the SCVs could not mass repair it, and it was, you know, for a unit as cheap as Zergling, it's so effective to be able to shut down a planetary fortress before it completes, and just getting that surround is key to doing that. Now we do have some harassment by the Terran player here, although the...
Yep, there's the GG by Knight, realising he's too far behind. And very nice player by the Zerg there, was a little bit behind, felt he made a little bit of mistake in the early, well, especially in the openings. His opponent went 2 racks, and he kind of just, I mean, he held it off, but not as well as he could have done. And from then on he was behind, but played solid play from then on, and basically won it in the macro games.
Yeah, very well played by the Zerg player. Quite impressed with, you know, just his level-headedness. He struggled at the start. He made a couple of mistakes in response to the bunker rush, but he didn't let it affect him. He did a good counter, and he managed to abuse the level of economic effort Terran was doing, not too much on the tanks. He was going Hellions and Marines, which is just mineral heavy, which you can't use against Banelings or properly defensively anyway. You really need those tanks. And yeah, very good.
Yep. It was a pretty decent game. I want to see actually what level of play he was. I've never actually seen him play before. It was quite impressive. And, well, he was a Masters player, Kari, the Zerg player, so good representation there. And Knight was, once input limit reached, decided to go away, is also a Master, so that was a pretty high-end game.
Apparently I can't count. Anyway, so it's Durham 1 up. I don't know if we're going to be casting the next. Durham versus Belfast. This is Belfast, by the way, it's not Queens. My overlay will only let me do 1 word at a time. But we're just going to wait on Joe Eagle to give us the next game. You're a Terran, aren't you, Leon?
I am indeed, yes.
How's that working out for you?
Alright, I guess. I haven't been playing so much recently because I got dissertation due on Thursdays. But yeah, TVT is the most annoying to play because there's just so much chalk and cheese openings. Like rock, paper, scissors kind of shenanigans going on. Like, you could open up, you think, pretty safe, like Marine Viking or Marine Tank Viking. Your opponent just goes like straight up Marines and wins. It's like it's pretty hard, man. But apart from that, I mean, it's pretty decent. I mean, TVP, I'm feeling I'm improving a lot more, and also TVZ, I feel is my strongest matchup. So
that's cool. Are you? What are you?
I've got 2 accounts, both rank 2 diamond still.
Oh, I see. So you're not quite there yet, but you...
No, I should really just play on 1 account, and then I'd easily be up there, but...
Why do you have 2 accounts?
1 account for trying random as a hell strategies.
Oh, I see.
Like, the craziest things I can think of. Like, I once played Zerg, and I was wondering if I could get a Broodlord to shoot Broodlings at a Nidus network, and if I can control the Broodlings to go through the Nidus.
Did that work?
And it didn't, no. But that's the kind of stuff I'd try. It would have been so
I've got
sick. It would
second
have been like
account,
an
but it's an
infinite army.
American, so
Yeah.
anyway.
It would be like an infinite army of broodlings. It would be so sick.
Join army.
Hengst and Pakwak. And Durham is purple, apparently.
Yeah, they are on my overlay.
That's cool.
I'm going to tell him to change colour because I'm too lazy to change. There we go. So Durham are 1 up. I believe they're 1 up, unless... I don't think Razorblade are... Oh.
No, that was a different matchup, that Razorblade one.
He's still in school, isn't he?
Should be, I believe.
Just close IRC. You good to go?
I'm good.
Okay, so Pakwak is Belfast. I mean, he's Irish, or at least he goes to an Irish uni. He's a smart one. They're not going to get 9 grand, are they?
It would be so good to go to an Irish university. Imagine the student nights out. Oh my god.
Because Wales and Scotland aren't going to get the new fees, are they? I think they're going to be overbooked.
Yeah. Would be pretty interesting to see the amount of foreign students, or at least students just attending Irish universities in general. And it's going to be the same map. Zelnag, well, it's going to be Zelnag. Actually, the last one was Metalopolis. But it was a TVP that we saw last on this map with Razorblader, but this time it is going to be Hengst versus Pakwak, and we are going to see purple versus yellow. Pakwak is going to be the yellow Protoss in the bottom left hand corner, and we do have Hengst, or I believe that's how you pronounce it. He's going to be the top right as a purple Terran representing Durham University, and his team, I believe, are 1-0 up.
Yep.
Can he close the deal?
What's it best of? Is it best of 3?
I believe so.
Okay.
The first game, well, I think it was best of 3, wasn't it? We saw Bling and Razorblader take a tour.
I don't think they're on the same team.
Oh, really not?
I think
Okay.
Razorblader lives like in Kent, and Bling lives in Penzance. So I don't think they're close.
Okie dokie. And it's just me just knowing nothing about geography.
Anyway, a 13 gate from the Protoss, which is slightly more economical than usual. And Terran, yeah, no.
Weird positioning on this barracks. Not too sure why it's there necessarily. I mean, if it's there, you may as well just wall off with it, kind of thing. Because now it literally serves pretty much no purpose. I mean, it's there, but it's not going to be able to wall off like any kind of early gate aggression, and it's in a horrible location, so Void Rays can just abuse that all day long. So yeah, I'm not too sure about this position by Hengst at all. I don't like the barracks placement.
Yeah, but Void Rays don't have 7 range anymore. Enough people complain about that.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with being able to outrange a bunker?
Yeah, that was pretty broken. And this SCV going down, really, yeah. I should never lose that SCV.
And he's trying to gas steal the guys that's already been taken. Oh, no. Not happening.
That would be some feat, actually stealing that gas geyser when it's already been taken.
It's interesting that he didn't try and gas steal the other one. I think he's
Yeah.
just not noticed that he didn't steal the gas. Anyway, Terran... I guess the supplies are fairly normal. I think he got distracted by something. Anyway, Tech Lab going up. Could be a Reaper. Could be Conk, or could just be Fast Stim. I think it's going to be 100 gas when it finishes, so it could be...
Marauder and Concussive, yep.
Yep. Normal. all good. Stalker coming out first for the Protoss, going to chrono that. No second gas yet. This could be quite indicative of a fairly aggressive play, especially, there you go, there's second gas, never mind. But this probe in the top left.
Yeah, he looks super devious right now, just kind of chilling there with his 1 kill. And he has to be placing something down, some sort of proxy tech or just even a proxy pylon. He is definitely going to be putting something down though, because there'll be no other reason why he's there unless he wants to scout when the expansion goes down. But even then, I don't feel that is viable. This Stalker might actually get caught up position because here comes a Marauder and a Marine. He does have concussive shells, so this Stalker is going to go down with a little bit of micro. Bye Stalker. And yeah, that was a big blow to lose that. So actually, wow, he's going to get away.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't just have your Marine and Mortar on the same hotkey. The Marine will get in the way of the Mortar and you won't get the conker. Oh, he's been a bit cocky with the Stalker. Turn around slightly. Take it easy, yo.
Yeah, you got that concussive. Runs back out screaming, but really should go home. I mean, this is quite scary now because he does have 2 Marauders. Yeah, but actually, here comes the sentry. Yeah, so
yeah, just needs to trap 2 units at the top. And
doesn't need to trap any. Just needs to just scare them off. Really, I guess. 1 force field's just going to make them super safe any time from now to the end of the game. So he's got that sentry out. He's getting actually Hanks is getting stim as well. So this could be a 1 base, 2 racks, kind of early insane aggression. I mean,
no, it's just,
this is really early stim.
I think it's a 2-rex expand. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, he is expanding, but this stim, I actually feel this is still very early.
No, this is. We used to see this a lot. We might not see it anymore, but it was kind of the reaction to the 1 gateway opening. But towards the end of last year, it became really popular. You just go 1 gate and you chrono stuff out on it. You do the conk push at the start just to check he's not being too greedy, and then you would expand. You'd see the expand, but you're preparing for a good push because you just don't want Protoss to be too greedy in this matchup. And he went to the left to check for a pylon, but he did not go further to check for that probe.
I'm actually super curious to see what this little probe is going to actually be doing there. He is just sitting there. He hasn't been moving for a while. I think it's just kind of an option that he's got there, and he has got 3 gates out, and it looks like he may be doing that 3-gate robotics kind of push that I was talking about. Or yep, it looks like he's going to be pushing out. Is he going to be placing a pylon in the top left-hand corner? I mean, this will be the prime time to do so. No, he's going to be placing Nexus down, so he's going to be putting on a little bit of aggression. But the thing is, Hengst did get super early stim, so by the time the units get over there, stim will be almost complete if Pakwak was to actually kind of attack. But looks like he's just kind of chilling in the middle of the map, so stim will be finished. And wow, he's going to be putting down 2 bunkers as well. I actually feel that if the Protoss were a push, they could have done quite a bit of damage because them Immortals absolutely eat Marauders.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's had his observer over there and he's not even pretended to push aggression. Like, just poking, seeing him stim on force field and backing off does a world of good before medevacs are out. Now this Protoss build, it's actually very similar to a there's a Korean build where you just get hallucinations instead of the Immortals while you're expanding, and you like fake a push and you hallucinate 2 Immortals, you poke and then back off. It's a shame he's not doing that, but it looks very similar to what's that trying to represent. And a little push up the right here.
Yep, and there goes the force fields. Brilliant force fields there, going to stop them from using them bunkers. So then bunkers are now completely pointless, but stim does go off, and oh my god, the Protoss is going to retreat. More force fields going down, and do you think retreating was a bit of an overreaction there?
I think it was. I think he could have done a lot more damage there. Especially there were 2 Marauders next to the Immortals, and if they'd have focused 5 them down, then Terran would have been in a lot of trouble. I think Protoss just didn't want to stick around for the SCV pull, which is fairly smart, but it's also fairly paranoid. And interesting tech choice by the Terran here is this armor in the top right, because there's no engineering base. It's not for bio upgrades.
Yeah, it's actually a very good point. It looks like it is going to be Thor's, and I can't think of anything else that he would be getting. I mean, he's got that army up, and unless he just wants to get tanks, he actually is getting armor upgrades. Wow, yeah, it could be Thor's with just the armor upgrades. We saw Thor's do this in the TSL against
Maybe
MC.
It's flyers.
Was that fly?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For medvacs, perhaps? I have actually no idea what he's doing. Yeah, he's getting Thors. Is he getting the wrong upgrade?
I think he's made a mistake.
Yeah, I actually think he's made the wrong up. Yeah, I think he's actually got the wrong upgrade.
Fair enough. It happens. I mean,
but he is making a third starport.
It must be confusing being Terran. You can build everything on so few buildings that you get lost sometimes in your.
It's just too much choices, Joe. Yeah. Too many choices, man. It's a generation we live in. We want to have everything. Yeah. Ah, Banshees. Okay, that makes more sense.
But I mean, what's gonna do so much damage against the Banshees?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Banshees just in your general army mix is super legit. I mean, especially if you've got that point defense drone. You throw down that point defense drone, all of a sudden the Stalkers can't shoot up. Or can't shoot. So having them, I mean, that Raven is such a good idea anyway against Protoss, just for the simple fact that DTs can catch you out so easily. But using it for the point defense drone in a huge battle, especially when you've got a lot of Banshees, is going to put Hanks in such a great position.
Yeah, I do like the attack he's going, actually. I mean, Protoss is going to go Colossus. It's pretty much guaranteed you're going to go Colossus. So his only anti-air is going to be Stalkers. Now, he's not going so Colossus heavy, like he's not going 2 Robo Colossus, or extremely 2 Robo Colossus, and he's getting the ground armor 1, so he's going to be extremely Zealot heavy. And you can also see that he's very Sentry heavy. So I very much like this sort of mash Banshee play. Although, I mean, this Observer is here, this Observer is seeing pretty much everything. He's not seeing what the upgrades are, but if he's keeping a good eye on it, he's see how many Banshees Terran is making. And Protoss doesn't seem to really be responding to that. I'd much rather see either like Immortals or Phoenix or more Stalkers.
Phoenix would be such a good idea.
But this is why he's got the Thors, you see. And
yeah.
Maybe this is why he got the armor, because Phoenix, they do 2 shots, so armor upgrades work doubly against them. But I mean, that said, Banshees are still light, so Phoenix do like double back damage against Banshees. So you just gotta be careful.
The one interesting point as well is that the Protoss has kind of submitted entire map control right now to the Terran, and he hasn't even looked to try and get it back. I mean, these 2 Marines, he just sat on these Xel'Naga towers, so he knows everything what's coming in and out of the middle of the map, so he can safely expand at any time where he's actually not.
I think he's just been so confident with this Observer being sat over the Terran space for the whole time.
Yeah.
But I mean, he has tried proxying piloting twice, but Terran's seen them because he has the Xel'Naga towers, and he shut it down. So.
Oh, he still has that probe in the top left that he could use, but
he's got 2
still
probes
not
in the top left.
Yeah, I don't know why they're kind of just chilling there. So maybe he's just using them as scouting. Just have that one at that expansion there. So he wants to know when the 3rd of the Terran goes down, as well as he just throws down Nexus of his own at the 3rd. So it will. I mean, he is actually, the Terran is ahead in supply. That's quite interesting, actually, being so far ahead in supply.
Dude, I need to be right back. 3 minutes, so I'm following your camera. I'm going to mute my mic.
Absolutely no problem. So we just do have this pretty insane army mix right now by Hanks. It's going to be pushing out. It is going to be taking down these destructible rocks. Obviously gearing up to use the gold as his 3rd, as you say. This command center is on its way. More Banshees being pushed out right now. I mean, this is a style that we saw Pain use a lot in MLG Dallas last time around. Not the one that's just been on, but the one before that, where he knocked out Noni quite famously in the I think it was in the 3rd place match. Using this style, basically you go around with this Raven taking out all the observers, and when the fight happens, you just basically there's no observers around, you throw down the point defense drone, and then you just smash Cloak with your Banshees, and then they just absolutely clean up everything else. But there is absolutely no Cloak being researched at all, but Blink is also being researched, so both players look like they want to take the goal expansions. I would say Hanks is in. Wow, stimming. Did not need to stim the Marines there, not gonna lie, didn't need to do it. Had Marines back here already. Has a ton of Banshees. Now actually Terran is maxed. Is actually ahead in supply. It does have this fusion core as well, so wow, is he gonna go into battle cruisers after this? That would actually explain the armor for the ship, because once he already has the Banshees with these upgrades, and then of course the battlecruisers will get them, and then they take so many shots. to kill battlecruisers once they have them armor upgrades. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Terran, or what the Terran decides to do here. Is he going to engage his third? Looks like he may be. He is shift clicking all over the place. Well, looks like he is gearing up to move in. Phoenixes are out on the field for Bagwag, who is representing the University of Belfast. Hanks is actually representing my kind of my nearest university. Here he goes, moving into the third base of the Protoss. Is going to be moving in. Here comes all the Colossus and the Stalkers. There goes the Stim. A little bit of miscontrol there with the Marines. Does the point of entry drone does go down. Force field's going up. All the Marines getting absolutely cleaned up. Thors are at the back. And here comes the Banshees. Are they going to be able to take them all down? There goes a very nice blink. And it looks like Protoss is going to eat this with nothing but pretty much Stalkers.
Wow.
And a handful of Phoenixes. So, wow.
That was quite something. I just came back in time for that battle, and wow! Check out these supply counts. It's 171 for Protoss, 130 for Terran. That seemed pretty decisive, and Terran's didn't seem to really pay off what it wanted to do. Like, I would like to have seen the Banshees focus the Colossus. Like, that's generally what you get Banshees for in TVP.
Yeah. I was just saying this beforehand, that he needed a cloak, because the idea of that entire build, we saw Pain User do it a lot at MLG. You go around with the Raven and the Marines and you snipe all of the observers, and then when you go into battle you just throw down cloak and you basically try to clean up everything. But he didn't even have cloak. Is transitioning into battle cruisers though, and he's going to have to try and defend this third, which is actually an orbital, not the planetary fortress, which is rather something. But these Colossus are going to just eat these Marines.
Yeah, these Marines stand no chance against this Colossus. This is generally, he knows it himself. You get the cloak, you get the Banshees, you want to snipe the Colossus, otherwise they will just tear through your Marines.
And Hank's kind of thrown away a huge lead, actually maxed before his opponent, moved out at a reasonable time, but just did not get cloak at all, and that's pretty much what cost him the game. I'm gonna actually super interested to see that replay and see if he actually had an observer with his army in that fight, because if he didn't, then that would definitely be GG in favour of Terran.
Yeah, I don't think he did, from what I saw.
Let's go and skim through that super quick.
And yeah, Zion, Bling is from Penzance.
Alright, okay, cool.
I said Xeon because someone in the chat's called Xeon. I didn't say Leon, sorry. But I can tell you too if you want. It's right near me too, Xeon. I'm at Plymouth. Just gonna shut everything down. But yeah, if anyone's like having confusion about the rules and stuff, remember, this is the first week, and tournaments like this, or leagues rather, always have a lot of, what's the word? They take a while to sort everything out, and you just got to bear with them as a player, just to keep an open mind. They'll get there eventually, and I'm sure, like, as soon as we get wrong, things will get sorted out. The admin's doing a good job. And Bling is Protoss.
Okay, so here comes the engagement, and let's have a quick look. He did have two cannons there initially, they did go down. Did he have any observers? I don't believe he does. Actually, no, he doesn't. Wow.
So, Terran, safe in the knowledge that...
Oh, wait, no, lies. He had two observers. Yep, he moved two observers in the end. They would have mattered absolutely nothing. Do they go down? He didn't even target fire them, and his Raven was still alive. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered at all, even if he did have cloak in that fight.
Okay, that's fair enough. Join on me, by the way. Yellow 1, right?
Yeah.
Cool. It's 1-all then.
I click join on you, but StarCraft is not responding. Brilliant. Thanks, Blizzard.
Try relogging, I guess. It normally cramps out for me after I've watched the replay too. It's PvZ, by the way. I don't think we've seen a PvZ yet.
Bling, the first game was PvZ, I believe.
Oh yeah, we made just sentries.
Yep.
Sentries and probes. Sentries and probes. You don't need to make anything else.
Sentries and probes, yeah.
Oh, and pylons. God, I can't forget the pylons.
They're gonna nerf the pylon, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not really that big enough, to be honest. It's just to stop. You know, you put the pylon on the bottom of the ramp, and you like walked in stuff behind either buildings or above the force field, so you got vision. Was what you did use it for.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're good. I think we're good. So they drew it up 1-all. Do you know it was best of 3?
Yeah, I think it is best of 3. Oh well, yeah, they've played one of each. Yeah, it'll be best of 3 then. Who won the first game again?
Well, Bling and Razor on the same team, so they won.
Right.
But they're on the same team, but I swear Razor Blade lives in like Kent. Anyway, just waiting on Clever Fellow.
Then there was that Kari B versus Knight as well. That was this game, wasn't it? That was Durham.
Yeah.
Belfast. So yeah.
Yeah, we did the 2 first, and then we've done Belfast.
Yeah, then we've done 2. So this is the 3rd in the second match.
Yeah, I occasionally get computer slowing down messages because it's just the processor's so hot. I've got a custom cooler and some proper paste that isn't desktop paste, and I'm gonna have a go at that, and that should be good. It's also because it turns my room into a sauna. This process.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy one of them sick MSI laptops in the next week or so. Like for 1.5 grand or whatever it is.
What, for streaming?
Yeah, pretty much like for events and such. You know, like the iSeries events, so I don't have to like carry a huge computer and monitor down with us, like across the country.
How good that would work, dude.
What, the MSI one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've checked that out and it's super legit.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, i7s and
Yeah,
SSD hard drives and such.
It's not a normal sized i7, is it? Like,
it's like top 3, I think.
no, because they have to do some like modifications because it's
obviously a laptop, but
yeah. Anyway, let me know because it would be cool if I could do that. I need a laptop anyway, just for going for iSeries because I don't have a car. Going to iSeries is a madness for me. Like,
yeah, we had to get a train for unforeseen circumstances, so that was
a
a
car
pain.
going,
Yeah, that wasn't good. So having to get a train with carrying your monitor around and that, not ideal.
I would have rented a monitor for sure. Like no way to take a monitor. But I guess you only had one computer between the two of them. Anyway,
we didn't have to take the computer, so.
Here we go. We have Revolve representing Belfast at the 12 o'clock position, the Zerg, and Clever Fellow representing Durham at the 2 o'clock position as the purple Protoss. And Zerg is going to know pretty quickly. This is MLG, by the way, so they know they're not going to be a close position anyway. So Protoss will probably scout Zerg first as well.
Yep.
down,
And
placing the pylon. It's not looking to be a fast expand if it's above the ramp. It's going to be a pylon gateway. And a gateway scout.
yeah, nothing going to be super crazy anything happening here, but we do have, because this is ones apiece for Belfast versus Durham. So it's all going to come down to this game. Both players are going to have to put on their A game to win it, for not just for themselves but for their teammates, of course, because this is the UK UTL, which does stand for the UK University Team League. So this is actually, I believe, the first of its kind, especially in StarCraft 2, like in the UK. I mean, I know there's been a lot of American tournaments which are very similar. I know there's one done quite recently, actually.
Yeah, they're getting great support, actually. Like, I know MLG went over to help them with some stuff.
Yeah.
That said, actually, we forgot, we've been bad about this. Big thanks to Turtle Biscuit, aka CynicalBrit.com, for putting up the £500 prize pool for this UK University Team League. We're supposed to have a banner to show you where you can go to find out more about him, but we weren't able to get it for today. But we will have it next time. So you should check him out at well, if you Google Total Biscuit, you'll find his website, you'll find his YouTube channel and his Twitter. Just follow him, tell him thanks, for showing his support for this fledgling league. We're very indebted to him for that. And he, if there's someone that puts any effort into the esports scene, you can't try harder than Total Biscuit, to be honest.
Well, we were actually sat next to him, like, at iSeries, because we had to share a booth, because we were both obviously covered in StarCraft 2, and we were basically talking about this event and the whole thing as well, and he was basically super like excited about it, was willing to put his money in, allowing esports and the esports scene and StarCraft 2 to grow over in Europe, not just the UK, but also he wants kind of the whole foreigner scene to kind of boom right now. Is doing so much work in terms of the IPL, and also has been asked to do some NASL things as well, I believe. So is definitely doing his part. Is just said, well, here's the money, guys. There you go. Make a good job of it. Wants us to do a good job. It doesn't mind. He said he doesn't mind people doing things like this as long as we do it right. If you know what I mean. Just wants us to make a good job of it. So let's not let him down, because he's the one putting the money in.
Yeah, and big thanks to him for that. Lately he's been live streaming his ladder, so if you follow him on Twitter you should be able to see him ladder, and he has gold level, so just bear that in mind. It's relatively entertaining.
Yep, but we do have this Zealot out. It's just going to be sitting between this pylon and this gateway. Pretty interesting positioning on them buildings. I'm going to use a cybernetics core to kind of help close that ramp off, but is not going to be doing that. Instead, it's just going to throw up an additional 3 gateways. So a clever fellow, feeling pretty clever now, deciding to go a 4 gate, and his opponent Revolve is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Does have his spawner pulled up, is getting speed on the way, is not even halfway done it, just over, well, just roughly a third on the way now, and it's going to be in a little bit of trouble, especially if the thing is, there's no proxy pylon right now, so he's going to have to take a probe with him.
And the probe is a massive element in this 4 gate. Now this is the one gas 4 gate. Now I know you people have probably heard, just 4 gates, ridiculous, but this is the 4 gate that's very zealot heavy. It's very stalker heavy, which means you generally need well, I don't want to say what you need. It's faster, but you need the proxy pylon, because you have to reinforce really quickly. Yeah,
because you cannot throw down force fields and such.
He seems to be making a lot of mistakes with regards to his Foxy Pylon. He's bringing the probe now to do the second Foxy Pylon, but his Zealot was in hold position, so it didn't go out. And he's going to be moving into the middle here, and the Zerg is going to see that there's a 4 walk gate coming. And
oh my god, did he see that?
Yeah, he saw it.
Okay. I hope he saw that.
Here we go. 2 spines. Look how much money they have.
Yeah, this is quite sloppy. I mean, this
okay, here we go.
pylon.
Here's the 10 roaches, but here's the problem. There's a sentry. There's going to be a force field going down on the ramp, and what are these overlords doing? Oh, Protoss made a mistake not going straight for that overlord. There's a supply block here. Could easily have won in the game. Now, 10 roaches are about to pop out, and this is the Pokemon is just finishing. So reinforcements are about to come for Protoss. It's because it's like, oh, it's sniped a sentry. That was huge. That is just one Zerg again. You cannot force field that around. Because reinforcements are streaming in here, and Protoss is so much trouble right now.
Yeah, Zerg is in such a good position right now. Got them roaches out at a crucial time. Is going to be able to take out this pylon. Just wants to take out that pylon super quickly. And there's a GG by Cleverfellow, realizing there's no way he can come back. Failed 4-gate, and Cleverfellow, not too, actually, yeah, not too clever with his pylon position and his probes. So, yeah.
Yeah, he needed to. There's a couple of things that you need to make sure you do, and that's first, you could have cleared out the main watchtower with the first zealot and stalker. So that, I mean, just the fact that that probe went out kind of told Zerg that something was up. He had an overlord over the naturals, so he knew there wasn't any fast expanding going on, and he wasn't too, like, I think he was expecting something because he just didn't continuously make drones. He was very good. He stopped, like, once the roach thing came out, he stopped. He sent the Zerglings in, so he was checking for the expansion, and based on what he saw, he could either, like, make a round of drones or make a round of roaches. He wasn't just continually making drones, and that's what saved him the game. That, and he did a very nice snipe on the sentry. He recognised there was only one, and he had to be able to snipe that to stop the reinforcements coming from the main, and he did that.
Yep, indeed. So now we're just kind of chilling, waiting for the next game. How many games is there on today?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh my god, my Firefox is bugging out. Let's go to windowed mode.
Did you feel any lag at all that game?
Nope. Lag free, yo.
Cool. Oh yeah, I forgot Gomas joined Infused.
Yep, joined yesterday, I believe. Last night.
Congrats to him. I'm sure he'll be good. They're Infused are trying to still finding their feet. They obviously pretty much killed Yo-Yo Tech in a little show match about a month ago. But
yeah, I casted that Lao, pretty much just demolished everyone. Yeah, I mean, they've got Lau, who's obviously met him at I-Series, very nice guy, very good player, very talented. Now they have Gomas to the team, so there's two top Terrans they have, like two UK Terrans as well. So they've got this strong foundation. Yeah, I'm actually super excited for them. They could go from strength to strength from this.
Yeah, they're getting some good support from their team. I think they just need to, they're not really gelling yet. I think once they start like practicing properly, I'm sure we'll see them do really well. They're not quite at like the Dignitas level yet, obviously, but because Dignitas has a lot of foreign names, but Infused is keeping it local, and all props to them for that.
Yeah, of course, Dignitas is probably the biggest one right now in Europe, I'd say. At the moment, I think the players that are in form anyway, players like Zhou, Select, and Naniwa. Like, there's three super scary players right there. So, I would say they're probably the most effective team in Europe right now.
Yeah. Get ready to join our meet.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Daranging, but you're German, so you don't count as English teams. That's what I do. Oh, and by the way, Belfast won that game. They beat Durham. Sorry, Leon.
That's fine. It's fine. If I was playing, it wouldn't have happened, but yeah. No, but yeah, Belfast obviously some pretty good players there. Yeah, 2 good Zergs we saw from Belfast actually. Actually, was the first one Durham? Yeah, first one was Durham.
Okay, so this is Falmouth, which isn't that Kent?
Don't ask me on my geography.
It's a 6
I know where my house is, I know where the corner shop is, and I can kind of get to the closest KFC, but after that, I do not know my geography.
I know where the Tesco's is.
No, don't ask me about Tesco's.
Oh.
Sainsbury's, bro. That's where it's at.
What? God. Sainsbury's?
There's a whole new Sainsbury's that's open. It's like multi-story Sainsbury's. It's like, what? MLG test bug.
My problem with Sainsbury's is they have a reduced section where they put the reduced stuff and it's like 5p reduced from the original price, whereas Tesco's it's actually like, you know, half price or something.
Yeah. Go back to the Elby Coast.
Do you know much about Dusko from Falmouth?
I know nothing about Dusker from Falmouth, Yellow Protoss. No idea, apart from that he's from Falmouth and he plays Protoss. And his name's Dusker, but apart from that, I have absolutely no clue about his game. It would be good. I mean, this is also good for us to kind of, you know, get an insight on a lot of what the UK players are like. Because even though we do kind of know the UK scene, we don't know, like, until you cast tournaments like this, you don't actually know all, well, you know, a lot of them in depth, and this gives us a great opportunity to see a lot of kind of unheard of players.
You just know
somewhat.
that most of them are Protoss.
Yeah. Wouldn't be so surprised. Interesting thing, Gormas, they're using the F1 key to kind of split his workers at the start. Instead of selecting them all, just tapping F1 and tapping the mineral patches.
Right does that, so it must be good.
Yeah, there's a lot of players starting to use that style now. I'm not too sure if it's actually more effective or not, but
I don't know, I just came from Voodoo, or I did the normal split.
yeah.
Anyway, Gomas is in the 7 o'clock position as the Purple Terran. He's representing the second University of London team. It's because there are so many people in London, there's 2 teams. Although he is at LSE, London School of Economics. So he's very good. And the Falmouth player is Dusker at the top left. Or, well, I'm not going to bother with the clock. People have digital watches these days anyway. He's in the top left, and he's making his gate around 13, which is a slightly more economical gate, but it's a big map. He'll be fine. He's a big boy.
Yep. Should be fine. A nice map. And now, this one thing I love pointing out about Testberg is that I think is so cool is that it is the only kind of like 3-player map. And what I mean by there's only 3 spawn locations. Like every other one, like Zelnaga Caverns, is like there's only 2 spawn locations, and things like Metalopolis is 4. So on this is 3. So like as soon as you scout one place, you automatically know where your opponent is. And I absolutely love that about this map. It adds a whole new dimension in terms of expansions and such, because all of these destructible rocks in the middle with the Zelnaga towers. I mean, if you could take a defensive one, so you can kind of sit back, take that tower, and you know that, well, you're going to know when your opponent's going to push. But ultimately as well, you can do it to your opponent and take like a very aggressive stance and take their Zelnaga tower, and you can keep them ultimately contained. And as a Terran, that is something that a lot of Terrans love to do that on this map. You take that early destructible rocks near your opponent's base and just keep them contained because they cannot get out.
Yeah, I do like the the sort of resurgence of three-player maps we're hopefully going to see. I'm glad that people have picked up this iCut map. You know, for a while it just seemed we were going to be using GomTV and Blizzard maps, but you know, they picked up an iCut one in the end, and it's a three-player one, which is great. Because in Brood War there were a lot of three-player maps, and they were generally the most balanced, to be honest.
Yep, ton of iCut maps that I think everyone knows of from Brood War. Python being one of the favourite ones.
Yeah, but they didn't make... The Koreans made that, I think.
Yeah, I'm just
no,
thinking
Koreans,
Brood
actually,
War.
no, Koreans made all the maps. They just... iCut selectively used them. So Gatorade going down, and Grandmaster's going to see it.
He has to cancel that. Has to. If he doesn't cancel that, then Dusker is blatantly just throwing the game at Gomez and saying, "There you go, buddy, all wrapped up in a nice little package for you." But wow, is Gomez not going to respect this?
No, I know what he's doing. He's going to get the bunker eventually. He's just going to take the watchtower now, and maybe with the Hellion just make sure, you know, what's happening is happening. And he's going for cloak after this. This is pretty much standard response to the 4 gate. You do your best to hold it, and then you go for cloak, because he's never going to get an observer, and you win. Yeah. But you know, we say this, but there's no bunker here yet. There you go. Gomez has just scouted the Foxy Pylon, and there's the bunker at last. Takes out the probe, so this is going to be the closest pylon Protoss can get. And here comes the warp in. I imagine that the bunker is going to probably finish. He's going to have to pull some SCVs for this.
You put down a second bunker.
Unless
as well,
if Protoss gets here and snipes this SCV, Gomez is in a lot of trouble. He's not aiming for the SCV. He's just attacking around. And the bunker goes up, and Gomez is in great shape.
Oh, why is he changing shots? He was shooting at that supply depot at first and decided to shoot the other one. If he kept shooting at that one on the left initially, he actually could have took that down, because if you see, he took 3 bars off the one off the right, where if he just kept that on the one on the left, he would pretty much have taken it out. And yeah, and now he's going to back off, and this attack is going to be dead in the water.
Yeah.
And Banshee out.
Protoss is in such bad shape right now. He's just got his second gas. He's probably going to put down a Nexus soon, but this Banshee's going to come up, and with its cloak, it's just going to wreak absolute havoc. Cloak is about to finish. He's got 70 energy on this thing, and unless Gomez makes a massive mistake,
yeah, it's going to be brutal.
And he's just shift clicking the probes.
GG.
So yeah, moral of the day is you don't put down 3 warp gates while the SCV is still in your base. Right?
Yeah, I actually have no idea why you would do that. That is pretty much textbook not how to play StarCraft. Like, if there was a book on how to play StarCraft, that would be in the part where it says, "Note: do not do this." He kind of made a huge blunder there. I actually have no idea. I can't actually excuse him for that. That is huge.
Yeah, just something to note, really. Maybe he thought he killed the SCV. I don't know. Maybe he's just nervous because he's being streamed. Lots of people have not been streamed over, so. But I'd advise them, you know, if you do get nervous, just keep doing it. Just keep playing, and eventually you get used to it. And eventually you might be on a big stage at I-47, you know, sometime in the future, playing against some massive player like myself.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, or Leon, you know.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
2v2's tournament.
Could be 2v2 caster tournament. Just saying.
Yeah, just saying. Prizes, you have to down a pint.
Very nice. Actually, there's pictures of me from my series. Like, as soon as the final was played, like, I jumped onto the stage with a pint. Just kind of summed up the weekend.
Purple one, that right? It's London and who?
That's correct.
So it's best of 3.
Mhm.
And they have Lau and Gomez.
Oh, very nice.
So if they both win, then they win the series. I think London are going to go far. To be honest.
They could definitely, I mean, with that mix, Lau and Gomez alone could pretty much do so much damage.
It's TVT now. Join me.
Okey-dokey.
TVT, huh?
Yep. And this is one of them matchups where it's Lau is super like known for his Banshee players. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw that at all, because he absolutely loves them Banshees. He probably loves his Banshees more than he would love his own children. Just saying.
Yeah, two things I want to say. First, I've just been told that Lau and Gomez's team will be reaching Razorblader and Bling's team in the round of 16 or the round of 8.
Oh.
So it's not going to be a final, but mark your calendars for that one, guys. You don't want to miss that.
That is actually pretty poor seeding, to be fair. I would have thought...
No, the teams have been changed around a lot since the seeding was done, believe me.
Right, okay, that's fair enough.
Anyway, yeah, Lau. He does like a star pot. Like every TVP I've seen him do.
I think every matchup I've seen him do.
He's gone 2-star pot.
Yeah, he absolutely loves them star pots, man. He loves them Banshees. That's pretty much what he's about. We have, I want to call him Exion or Xeon.
Xeon. This is
Xeon.
I said it earlier when you thought I was talking to you.
Okay. So he's going to be the yellow Terran. Actually, taking my yellow. I mean, what's with these people taking my yellow, man? Anyway, he's going to be the top right, the yellow Terran. He is going to be playing against Lau from Infused.tt. Pretty well known in the UK scene. Got to the final of the Dignitas Gamer Search. Got beat by Bling. I'm
sure Infused are very happy that he did.
Yeah, definitely. And well, he's kind of played so many games and so many tournaments in the UK recently. Of course, he was at I-Series last weekend. Did pretty well. Knocked out Pure Ball. And who else did he knock out? He knocked out a lot of good players in general. I can't actually remember the exact games, but Lau is definitely one of them players that will be, he's so solid that unless someone just completely 100% outplays him or is a better player, then he'll not lose, if you know what I mean. He won't make mistakes that'll lose him games. Yeah, that's how I find Lau.
I find he's very, nervy, like especially in like big show matches. Well, not big show matches, big tournaments. I find he forgets things. Like Cloak we saw a couple of games ago. Just small things that just lose you the whole game in a game like StarCraft 2. So, but I'm sure once he like gets over that nervousness, we'll see him tearing up the scene a lot more. His ladder record is very impressive in general, and no one doubts that he has the ability to go a long way. He just has to work on his psychology, I think. Anyway, TVT, they're pretty mirrored right now.
Yeah, and remember, Lau and Gomez are teammates at this university, but remember, there are also now new teammates that they both signed for Infused. Gomez just signed for Infused yesterday, so very good time for kind of Infused to show match their new players, if you know what I mean. And wow, this SCV from Xeon kind of getting a little bit lost. Could have saved that. Was kind of caught MIA in the base of Lau, so that was taken out. And it looks like Lau is going to go for the very standard 1-1-1 build. We do have the factory on the way. We should see the second refinery en route soon as well, if he is going to go for this Banshee player. Actually intrigued to see if he does go for that second refinery anytime soon.
Yeah, Xeon's second refinery has just finished, and Laos has not started. So we are already seeing the
this could be Hellions
going on right now.
Yeah, against Pure Ball and against Select at I-Series last weekend, he did a style where he went Hellion Tank. that's all he got, pretty much. He went straight up Hellion Tank, and it was a very funky style, caught Pure Ball off guard select, managed to have a bit better control and managed to deal with it. But looks like, well, Lau is getting that Hellion out, and he is getting a reactor on this barracks. I hope it is for Marines, because one problem that he had against, well, last weekend was that he just didn't have enough anti-air with the Hellion tank kind of mix. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does the same again this weekend.
Yeah, I won't pretend to know too much about TVT. I am a Protoss player, but this expansion is very fast for Lau, and so the question is, it's now on Xeon to do some sort of pressure and either bring the tables even or use the fact that he has more money to spend on units.
And Xeon taking out the Hellion of Lau, very nice. They're just like both of the Hellions shot at the exact same time, so they would have killed each other roughly at the same time, but Xeon just like thought screw that and brought his Marines down to kind of finish off the other Hellion. So Lau automatically behind a little bit, but does have this command center up, and well, we do have a medvac out on the way for Xeon as well. So it looks like he wants to do some sort of perhaps some drop play. He's getting a tech lab as well. I only presume he will be getting that for Stim and the shield upgrades for the Marines. Tanks out for Lau now as well, and he is getting them Marines from the reacted barracks. Does have a bunker up as well, just to be super safe, and is morphing the second command center into an orbital command, so he will have additional energy for the mules and also for scans if he needs them.
Yeah, I just moved my microphone, sorry. So, do you reckon Lau is in a position where he can defend what's coming from this drop at the start?
If this drop was to come, yes, I think he does have Siege now, it's just finished for Xeon, and Siege is also finished for Lau as well, so I feel, yeah, Lau would pretty much be able to defend this. He does have this bunker up as well in an ideal place, and he has all these Marines kind of chilling in his mineral line. Yeah, I don't see how this drop cannot actually do anything, because he actually didn't take it. I actually thought he was going to take a tank in that drop, but he didn't. He took a Hellion and Marines and an SCV instead. Yeah, I don't think this drop from Xeon is going to be effective at all, to be fair.
Yeah, Lau is being pretty defensive with this missile turret. This is obviously he's prepared for the Banshee timings, you know, the cloaked Banshee, and he has a supply depot to see this drop. And Xeon sees the supply depot. He says, "Okay, I'm just going to keep going for it." And he comes over, and he's not even going to drop. He wants to check, and he's dropping on top of the tanks. And
that is so dumb. He's going to lose that medevac as well.
Medevac's trying to get away, but the Vikings slightly still around, picks off the medevac, and Xeon is in a world of hurt right now. It's 36 supply versus 58 for Lau, and Lau has had this command center up for a while. He's going to move it over and expand, and Xeon cannot stop this. He's just had to put his own command center now, but you have to think, the longer this game goes on, the longer he's going to be behind. But what could he do?
Yeah, and being a TVT as well, a mirror matchup, every unit counts. I mean, that extra bit more, because if both people have the exact same build order, but if one person has one more Marine, then he's in the advantage. Like, if both players was to both straight up fight, then the person with one Marine will come out on top. You know, it's just little things like that. I mean, especially in mirror matchups, it just becomes so much more important. I mean, now that Lau is ahead in terms of, is he actually ahead? Yeah, so far ahead in terms of harvests, 39 to 22. Already, and already has his expansion up. His supply block, though, actually both players were supply block there for a little bit of time. So yeah, Lau is in such a commanding lead, and it's just a matter of time before he builds up a nice amount of tanks and then decides to push and contain his opponent.
Yeah, got the bars up at the moment. You can see a very commanding income lead for Lau because of this the second base. He's got his 2 gases up, and he's going to be transitioning to a very strong Marine tank with a Raven.
Yep.
This is for air superiority, I'd guess.
Can be. A lot of players have been using it now as well for the for the auto turrets rather, because the auto turrets take high priority from the tanks. So if you were to place the auto turrets kind of out of the way when you throw them down, the tanks decide to shoot that instead of your army. So it works as kind of like a shield, or like a like a tanks, like the tank shots, if you know what I mean. So then you could move in like your tanks and your stim marines to be able to take out his siege tanks.
So it works effectively as a mini point defense drone for ground
Yeah,
units.
yeah, definitely. That's how I describe it. Yeah, because that's how a lot of players are starting to use them now, especially trying to break siege lines. People are starting to actually, run into them a lot more often these days, and using them auto turrets is definitely an effective method of actually breaking them.
I'd just like to point out that Mr. Lau, in loving his starport tech, he is building, and he's soon completed, a fusion core. So,
oh my god,
we will soon be seeing battle cruisers, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you had not seen them before. They don't get used much, but in TVT, I guess, if you have the air advantage, they are pretty solid.
Yeah, I'm actually intrigued about only 25 harvesters for Xeon.
It's interesting, actually, if you look at the supplies, Xeon has caught back up. He's been making...
units.
He was caught back up, and then Lau started building 2 battle cruisers, and they are 6 supply each, so then he kind of jumped ahead again. But, yeah, Leon, he's making a couple of Vikings, but I think he needs to maybe throw a scan to see how many Vikings he really needs. He's still got time to react to a couple of starports and spam Vikings at this battle cruiser build, but at the moment he doesn't even know that Lau has the gold, so...
Yeah, Xeon not doing the greatest job of scouting. It also has kind of blocked his own ramp there. These tanks and Marauder cannot get down there. This one siege tank kind of just chilling in the middle. That's a big Snorlax. Not going to allow anything past. He is... Actually, is he not getting a... Well, he's actually still making medvacs out of the starport. He's not scouting at all. So far behind in Harvest is 65 to 31 now. And Lau is expanding to his 4th and is building another command center as well.
And
to expand to
big
his 5th.
scan going off right on the battle cruisers, and this is the part where you see what he does against this. Throwing down small barracks, but I mean, Lau is just so far ahead. This is why I can't help wondering why Xeon has kind of stopped making SCVs. He seems to be stuck at 32. He seems to be expecting some sort of push. I only really knew that Lau had the gold and is quite happy to not push him. I feel he'd be playing this a bit differently.
Yeah, he's also building a reactor on the starport where he had a fine reactor at the top left-hand corner with the barracks. If he just swapped them around, it's more crucial that he gets the Vikings out rather than Marines at this point. Because Marines will just die to anything that Lau has, but the Vikings will be able to take out his battle cruisers super efficiently. But it looks like Lau is just going. Well, he's actually building more command centers. He's just looks like he's building more command centers just for the orbital commands,
Lau wants
just
to
for the mules.
He doesn't want the game. He wants to mine everything and sell it. 2 armies going now for Lau. He's very happy to just sit back and go for the late game right here. We do finally see, after all that talk about Banshees, we've got a Banshee on the map. It doesn't have Cloak though.
It's going to be used for scouting, I think, and it's also nice just to have at least one Banshee just thrown in into the matchup, just so you can do a little bit of harassment, try to pick off a few SCVs here and there, and I believe a Banshee might just slightly faster than a Viking, so he can get away from attacks.
It's 2.5 to 2. Sorry, it's 2.75 to 2.75. So.
Oh, exactly the same then.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like I said, it was always nice just to try and pick off a few SCVs. And wow, 100 energy on this orbital command for Xeon at the expansion, and 63 at his main. He is not muling. He is not producing SCVs.
It could be because he saw the starports with the tech labs. He's expecting some Banshee harass, but he does have the engineering base, so I'd expect him to put turrets up if that's what he was thinking. Lau has decided he wants Xeon's gold.
Oh my god, Lau is having so much fun right now.
You can just imagine him with a massive grin on his face right now.
I actually can. He's like one of the happiest people I've ever talked to before. Always smiling. Wow, this orbital command is actually saying screw it, I don't want to land here. And he's just going to float around a little bit longer.
The orbital command saying, dude, are you sure? Yeah, just checking the management. Are you sure?
He's just checking his sat nav, making sure he didn't make the wrong turn at the Zelnaga Tower. But yeah, he's actually going to expand to the left as well. He is actually, yeah, taking the map. And how can Zeon just sit back and just be like, yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. I'm pretty comfortable. I feel I got this.
I think he's just so scared to move out. He doesn't want to go until he's maxed. He's about to find out about this gold. Oh dear lord.
Yeah.
Marine just goes happily past it. It's like, what?
Yeah. This Marine's going to be like, there's the lol by Zeon. And is he going to actually push this? No, he's not. He's still not going to push it. And it's the funny thing is, he actually made an orbital command. It's actually an orbital command here, not a planetary.
The Banshee came over and killed the Marine.
Zeon
is just so intimidated right now. He could push out in seconds, and despite how far Lao ahead is ahead, he can just kill this. Lao is just mining gas on every base apart from one. You know.
Looks like he just wants an army of battle cruisers, and who can blame him? He has got 1-1 upgrades on them so far. Is getting, well, he's not getting any of the upgrades for them just yet. It's interesting. Does have 2 armories, has the money to, but is not getting any upgrades.
Yeah, it's worth pointing out, you know, that Lao is maxed. He has 3,000 minerals. He has 2,000 gas. So.
Yeah. Oh, here comes SCVs sacrificing themselves.
He wants supply. Oh my god. Zeon's like, what the fuck is going on in this game? Seriously.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Lao has so many orbital commands, he doesn't need SCVs anymore.
No, he's just freeing up supply. Like, he sent the SCVs to the slightly left bit, and they're like, oh, we're still alive, yay! And
no, he's going to expand.
Expand and take the gas. Smooth.
Oh my god.
Poor Zeon.
Yeah. Nope, more Marines sacrificing themselves.
Oh, Marines too, yeah.
I'm so interested to see if actually Zeon had a game plan after that drop. Like,
I don't think so. I mean, he was just so.
He's like, okay, I'm going to do this drop.
Okay, let's just put it in Zeon's perspective. I don't think he saw the expand from now. He didn't see the command center. So he dropped. Oh, here we go. Never mind that. He's going to push. He's attacking Lao's third base.
Nope, he's not. He's getting a little cold feet. More SCVs sacrificing themselves to the Marauder gods. Oh, here he goes. Oh my god, he takes out this expansion.
Takes out the expansion. Oh my god. A huge.
He actually has a nice number of items. He could kite these battle cruisers, but they do have the Amado cannon, so actually no, he can't.
And I think my computer might die, so if the stream goes off,
Amado cannons.
Here comes the Yamato on the floors, and the Vikings, and Falmouth lost 80 supply. There's no idea there. Poor Zeon, didn't really know what hit him. And again, London, University of London essentially taking this. Congrats to them. Well played by Lao, you know, just having fun.
Yep, and of course, guys, thank you to Total Biscuit for sponsoring this tournament and putting his own money in. You can find him at, I believe it's the cynicalbrit.com.
Just Google search Total Biscuit or Cynical Brit, you know. Say thank you to Total Biscuit. Maybe add him on Twitter and send him a message on that. That's how you communicate with celebrities these days. But big thanks to cynicalbrit.com for putting up the £500 prize pool. And I think that's it from us for today. You'll see us again next week with more banners and on the Team Liquid calendar, and generally slightly more organised as we get things going into this tournament. But impressive play by not sure what else to say about that. I think Zeon was slightly intimidated. Didn't really have much of a game plan past the drop, because he kind of dropped the drop like right on top of the tanks, and you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. No.
And then the clutch Viking came out in time, and the drop died, and it was.
It's like throwing your baby under a car. You just don't do it. It's like health and safety.
I'll bear that in mind.
Like, you just getting your Marines and just throwing them under a tank. It's never ever a good idea. But fair play for him to staying in the game, being pretty well mannered.
Yeah, it was just good fun. You know, Some people forget it's just a game, but it is.
It's more than
Apparently,
a game. It's a real life.
I don't get told this. I just get mad.
Yeah, I don't either. It's a real life.
I'm just going to get confirmation from Joe Eagle that we're done.
Cool.
We had some good games. We actually, there was a surprising amount of Masters players. When I first saw the amount of people signing up, I felt, I wasn't too sure about what I'd be casting because I'm not that not that confident casting like bronze level games because I tend to be a bit overcritical. But we had some good players today. Lau and Bling and Razorblader and Gomas are all, I'd say in the top 10. All of them, definitely. Of the UK.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, definitely. You've just named pretty much, the top 5. That's if you don't include, obviously, the likes of Randy and Pure Ball.
So, okay, Leon, where can people find more about you?
Can find me at Twitter, twitter.com/LeonStarcraft. YouTube VODs as well, youtube.com/LeonStarcraft. And, yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, for the moment you just find me on this channel. You'll see me here next week. Casting round 2, so look forward to that. I'll have, I'm getting, some people said it was a bit choppy on the stream, but that's just because I'm running with stock thermal paste at the moment, and I'll replace all that. And it should be good. But thanks again to Cynical Bit for sponsoring it. Thanks to Joe Eagle for running it. And we'll see you next week. Peace.